Hey, it's Aaron from GameEnthus.com, and today I'm checking out a game called Scribbletown. Scribbletown is being published by Desultory Games and has been designed by Zack Hiwiller, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Scribbletown is a roll and write for 1 to 6 players, for ages 14 and up, where you are trying to design a town that is worth the most points. Regular buildings are worth something. Sometimes buildings are worth something in conjunction with other buildings. You really want to build special buildings because they're worth more points. So open the box and find out what it's about. So this is the box of Scribbletown. I showed you the box earlier, and now you're seeing it again. This is what it looks and sounds like when you take the box top off. Don't need to worry about that. That is a piece of paper. It's not related to anything in this preview. We have an instruction manual. And we have 6 player boards. And there's a basic side and then a more difficult side. Get out a dice tray. And these are the dice. So you have the house, farm, a factory, a park, and then all these are different types of roads.
You don't need roads.
You're going to need roads. Okay, so I did state earlier that the game is playable from 1 to 6 players. This almost very similar to the multiplayer game. One of the big exceptions is when you build a factory, you notice it has a little trash can waste symbol on it, which corresponds to the waste area here on the player board. So whenever you build a factory or put a second road on a single space, or draw special buildings are buildings that are comprised of building other buildings. Like a museum is comprised of having a house, a factory, and a park all adjacent. And once you do that, you are able to take a turn, meaning you're not using any of the dice, and you can build that special building. A museum can be worth a lot of points because it's worth 1 point per building in your city. Meaning literally anything you can draw on here, with the exception of a road, will be worth a point if you build the museum. If you build it but don't use it, you can't score on it. Meeting the requirements for a special building is not the same as meeting the requirements and putting it into your town. The conditions for waste, once again, are building a factory, putting a second road on a single space, or every time you build a special building. Special buildings have a cap on them. Like like the museum is worth 15 points max. You can't go over that. See, the pharmacy. The pharmacy is comprised of 2 homes, like 2 neighborhoods, and a factory. It's worth 10 points. It's also only worth 10 points if it's directly between 2 neighborhoods. So you'd have to plot the 2 neighborhoods and the factory. You've met the requirement to build the pharmacy. Once you actually put the pharmacy on an actual space, drawing in the actual symbol, it's worth 10 points if it's directly between 2 neighborhoods. So those are some of the special cards. So the waste would work is whenever you have to draw waste, you would just scribble it out on your board there. One of the other differences is when you're playing a multiplayer game, how the game comes to its end is usually based on how many players have empty spaces left. So once one person finishes, that's necessarily trigger the end of the game. It's also the kind of thing where maybe you want to ask people you're playing with, like how they think the game should end, and that'll be how it ends. You shuffle up the special cards. You lay out 6 cards. So let's say here we have a church, we have a bakery, a golf course, a post office, a farmer's market. We need farms for that. And a warehouse. You can set the other cards to the side. And how a turn works is everybody's using the same dice. Essentially, there really are no turns. It's just people really want to roll the dice because they are rather large dice and dice are fun. People can take turns just rolling if they wish. So what you do is you pick up all the dice, give it a good shake, see what you got. So I got a neighborhood, a factory, and 2 of the exact same roads, the ones that just kind of curve from one side to the one next to it. And also I have to write the name of, I'm the mayor of this town, so I'll be Mayor Aaron.
It's brilliant, 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 I tell you. Genius, I say.
Looks like chicken scratch because that's how I really write. So this is as real as it gets, people. So if I take a look at the cards I have up here, the church, the bakery, the golf course, the post office, the farmer's market, and a warehouse. What do I want to build? Many of the cards use a neighborhood. I keep saying a house, but it's a neighborhood. If you do get a park to come up, you should probably take it because they don't come up very often. Let me mention the scoring too for the regular cards. So each neighborhood that's next to a park in your town is worth a point. Each business area that has a road going to a neighborhood is worth 2 points for a maximum of 12. Each factory that has a road going to a farm is worth 4 points for a max of 12. Each farm that has a road going to a business area is worth 2 points for a max of 12. And each park just existing in your town is worth a single point. Let's say I'm just going to create a neighborhood. Yeah, it doesn't look as good as it does on the die there, but you know. So on a turn, you are only able to use 2 of the die, no more than that. So let's say I use the neighborhood and I'm going to use one of the roads here. And let's say I use it like that. And I would just cross that out because roads aren't really worth anything unless you can connect. If you see these roads on the sides, if you can connect these with roads, that's your road bonus at the end of the game. All right, that will be a turn, and let's roll again. And we got a park, same roads, and a factory. Excuse me, a farm. So a farm going to a shopping area gives me some points. Let's see, do I need a farm? Okay, so for a bakery, I would need 2 farms and a business area worth 2 points per empty waste space. So for all these that you don't have to fill in, the bakery is worth 2 points for a max of 11, which is weird if they're worth 2 points. Anyway, golf course worth 1 per park in your city. See an additional point for every park in your city if you build a golf course, but they don't really come up that often. You know what? The church worth 2 points per neighborhood in your city. I have a whole lot of neighborhoods. I'm gonna go ahead and build a park because why not? And I'm going to build a farm. Do not blame Desultory Games for my lack of artistic ability. That's not their fault. It is what it is. They can't be responsible for everything. Okay, so if you notice right now, I have met the requirement to build a church, which is 2 parks and a neighborhood. I guess you can only build 1 of each special building till you can't build 2. So not really an option. I could roll, but building a special building also is an opportunity cost. So I'm going to roll, see what I got here. And I can either not use any of these dice and then build my special building, or I could use these dice and then build it later. Oftentimes I kind of cock this to the side when I'm playing solo, so I know that I met the requirement for it. I just haven't built it yet. I'm going to build the factory, which means I'm producing waste. I need to find a way to reach both of these. If I do that, in another turn, I could have a road connect here, which means it will be connected to a neighborhood and a business for the post office. So I'm at the requirement for a post office as well, but I'm not quite ready to build it yet. So now I'm going to connect these two, which also means I have another 2 roads on the same plot. So I have to scribble out an area, but then you can scribble out 3 more times and then it happens, and then 4 more times and it happens. I need to build a church somewhere. So the church is going to go right here. All right, then that's my turn. I'm not using any of these dice because I built the church right here. So now the church is going to be worth 2 points for every neighborhood in my town. The church is being completed. I got to build this post office because I just don't have a choice here. Where's it going to go? All right, the post office is going. I'm not going to build the roads first. So the post office is going to go like here or something. Actually, if I connect these 2 here, then I can build a post office and then have a road going to it right there. That is not what I wanted to roll, like at all. Not even close. That's okay though, because I'm going to build my post office right there. So now my post office is here. All I really need to do is connect it to I need to get one small curve there and it'll be connected. But I wonder if I did it like this, I'll do one that if I bring it from here and come out this way, is that touching, or is that, I don't know. Ah, good. All right, so now I'm gonna have a road going right there. Yay me. So there's another road, and that's 2 roads on the same plot. Also, because I built the post office, I forgot to scribbling 1 for the post office. I produce waste, and then 2 rows on the same spot, more waste. So I use one of these die here. I can use the other one. So I'm going to build another park, because why would I not? That gives you an idea of how the game plays. You roll the die, everybody uses what's there, or you're building a special building. And I think everything is open to everybody. So playing solo is very similar to playing with other people. Very much analogous, except other people, you're kind of watching what they're doing, and then if they happen to produce waste, you can kind of screw them over by blotting out one of the areas where you know they were going to use it for something. All right, so we got 10 plus 13 is 23. 23 plus 10. Oof, that's not very good. I've done better than that every other time I've played this game, with the exception of maybe the first 2 times. So I didn't score all that great. But I just want to give you an idea of how the game flows. So, and if you look on the advanced side, you can see that it's a little more difficult because you have some empty spaces, just makes scoring that much more difficult. Is that right? 10. Wow. 33 is not a very good score. Ugh. And then if I'm actually playing by the solo rules correctly, I believe I would deduct even more points based on how much waste I had over here. Deduct that from my most valuable special building, which would be 10. Oof, that's... Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. I guess maybe it's waste that's plotted. I only have 1, so I guess that'd be 9. So that might be like 32 actually. But it's a prototype. Some of the rules might have changed from the time this got to me to when the final game comes out. Anyway, not the point. This is Scribbletown. It is, as you can see, it's a interesting roll and write with a lot of variety. Like, granted, the regular buildings, you're going to be writing those all the time, but just the number of special buildings just really mixes it up, and their abilities. Like I showed you, the museum is just crazy. You can really score 15 points on that thing. That's nuts. You can really score a lot of points at the museum, bus stations, police for casinos, playgrounds, which somehow aren't in the parks, but not really the point. And a parking lot. Who doesn't love a good parking lot? That's people move into an area because of a parking lot, even if they don't use it. People just love parking lots. So anyway, that's Scribbletown from Desultory Games. It's on Kickstarter. I suggest you go to Kickstarter and you support Scribbletown. And I think about it is too, even though it is 1 to 6 in the box, you could potentially just copy this and play with any number of people, play it online. There are a lot of things you can do. So a lot of options there. I could end this with a really terrible quote like, mark me down for Scribbletown or something like that, but I'm not going to do that. Wait a minute, I just did. It doesn't matter. Scribbletown, it's on Kickstarter. Link is in the description. Thank you for watching. Take care. Be safe. Wear a mask. Be blessed.